I'm Sadia Brito, and this is News Review. Coming up, Gambians react to APRC's Dudu Jah after he claimed that Gambia has no coronavirus cases. Meanwhile, the Director of Health Promotion and Education, Mamadou Njai, sat exclusively with the Fatu Network today, where he dispelled some unfounded claims surrounding the pandemic. But first, we'll take a look at the newspapers. The Standard newspaper is reporting that Dabo has finally spoken on Brikama Area Council chairmanship crisis, and of course government is discussing plans to support tourism industry, according to the tourism minister Ahmad Bah. And URR village threatens to banish family over COVID-19 case, and retired army chiefs deserves benefits, and the Banjul City Council calls for speedy distribution of government food aid. And of course, the EU reinforces technical assistance to support Gambia in facing the consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's take a look at these stories in detail. Dabo speaks on Brikama Area Council chairmanship crisis. For the first time since his party rescinded its decision to expel the Brikama Area Council chairman, Sheriff Sonko, the leader of the United Democratic Party, has spoken on the matter. Sonko's expulsion created an impasse, with the chairman staying put and protesting that due process was not followed by the party itself. This followed a dramatic change by the UDP announcing the rescinding of the expulsion, which critics called embarrassing and disorderly. But speaking to his supporters on Facebook, Usainu Dabo said, "I am sure some people want to take the issue of Brikama Area Council in a way that is completely unnecessary and uncalled for." He said, "We have taken a decision, and upon reflection, we have rescinded that decision, and whatever we do is in the best interest of the United Democratic Party." Government discussing plans to support tourism industry, says a minister. Tourism Minister Ahmad Bah has assured stakeholders in the hospitality industry that government will act responsibly to address major adverse effects of the coronavirus pandemic on their businesses. Stakeholders in the hospitality industry are asking government to provide financial and practical support to both the travel and hospitality sectors in a bid to save the industry from the wheels of the coronavirus pandemic. They warn that the effects of the coronavirus pandemic is adversely wreaking havoc on the industry and could wipe out the entire sector if government fails to act in bailing them out. URR village threatens to banish family over COVID-19 cases. The Ministry of Health has said a community in Upper River region has threatened to banish the family of the only COVID-19 case in the area. The Acting Director of Health Services, Dr. Mustafa Bitey, told journalists yesterday, he was quoted as saying, "The Ministry of Health has intensified psychological support and sensitization support in a village, Numuyal, which is in the URR, as the community threatens to banish the family of the only confirmed case in the village." Retired army chiefs deserve benefits. The Gambia Army, in conjunction with relevant authorities, is working on a policy document which will highlight and seek approval for the provision of some benefits for retired former army chiefs. The PRO said that this is the best practice all over the world, and that retired army heads enjoy some retirement benefits. Recently, the Gambian people were shocked when outgoing Army Chief Masane Kinte requested for some security until he takes up his new job as a diplomat. The request, which was leaked online, left many to question whether such is in line with the norm. Banjul City Council calls for speedy distribution of government food aid. Despite the launch of its own food bank, the Banjul City Council says it will be ideal if the central government expedites the distribution of food aid to residents of the city, as COVID-19 restrictions threaten to endanger food insecurity in many Gambian households. The BCC recently set up a food bank, but the town hall has expressed its eagerness to work with the central government to help keep hunger at bay through the distribution of food aid to residents under the COVID-19 partial lockdown. And finally, the European Union reinforces technical assistance to support Gambia in facing the consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic. The European Union is reinforcing its technical assistance to the Gambia with an additional financial support of around 30 million Gambian dollars. This is another move in support to government's effort to tackle the COVID-19 crisis and to address the main democratic transition challenges ahead in 2020-2021. This complements the donation of around $500 million of budget support to help the country to implement its response to the COVID-19 pandemic. That's it for the Standard newspaper. Let's take a look at the point. Police fraud squad investigates a trust bank hacking. Let's take a look at that story. The fraud squad of the Gambia Police Force, GPF, is currently investigating the alleged attack hacking on Trust Bank Gambia Limited. The point has learned. Police has so far arrested 12 people in connection with the hacking. The arrestees include Gambians and non-Gambians alike. A source that spoke to the reporters of the point on the condition of anonymity hinted that the suspects are currently being detained at the police headquarters in Banjul as investigations into the matter continues. ASP Lamin Jai, police spokesperson, confirmed the development, confirming the suspects are currently under custody as investigations continue. That's it for the newspapers. Let's take a break and then we'll be right back. Welcome back. And now, as healthcare officials continue to battle the deadly pandemic, business is as usual to some people as they believe coronavirus does not exist in the country. And one of those people is APRC's Duduja, who has accused government of creating what he described as a fake coronavirus cases in order to get money. Here is a reaction from Gambians.
After the PR of APRC Duduja made a statement saying the government of the Gambia is filing up coronavirus cases in a quest to acquire funds and that there is no coronavirus in the Gambia. Since then, there has been too much talk about the issue. This is what some of the Gambians have to say.
am na si Gambia bi nii waaye tamit xam nga soo ko xoolee ba xool tam politique tam daf si bokk tamit yeah parce que politique daf si bokk because lu mu nekk di demee nii dañ lay toore ñu ne cases am na te ñu ngi tëj booday right now loolu daf nu gën a jaaxal because right now last week rek gaa ñu ngi wax 5 confirmed cases am na te gaa ñu ne ñu ngi tëj booday kon ñuy naka leen war a jaaree wala fu nekkoon ba nit yi xamuñ ko yeah
ntele miro e min dinaje ngajelo ko no nyin coronavirus to nyalam ko so dunia kono banguta kerin dunia ita folo ko nyin mam futa banko min ma entra fokan dula bere ba fokan so nim min malla abe buluje ba dunia o kay ila man sami yalon ko ya sindi ni ay kuke mi yala man beteya afay yanyin ka man beteya bar man la man safana bina moli samala na moli ko kuma samanyi na mi yala man soto ka fanyi ni sa ba kerin ne atra ta kerin ñaya jele nga molu je ni molu ka diamu molu ba fo ni kata kunun dene mo fele na ba diamu kan Italy akonye bi mo keme fulala fata jang so ni min kata keri modol fo bi je ni ko mo bulo dila modol le sa fanyo ko nono ni ko e puri kana bulo dine sa fanyo ko no ha nyim man tar keri ko ni min man la fana abebul so nganji ko di ala la dron alma ala ya bondin kan kila hormodo na man sa fana la dunia samanya na banko samanya alma ala ya sonen diabul.
It's possible I'll be carrying, It's possible I'll be carrying because dunia be daming something, everything is down. So hanna mantara nyanta ka 100% sure, nyanta at least nyanta ka hope sure, I'll be carrying because everything is locked down. If you need America from me along column world superpowers, nitaraje right now, everything is slow. Yeah.
Okay, coronavirus. Nte personally nda malla ka be game banko kanja. Yes, ngala no ka solo sa sale ma solo tale. Baramanke alala sasala mole le yadeda so ila agentol ba drop kan dunia dulal beto isa drop no janne but ndaman so ka futa janne man la ka futa janne
muna nay man la ka futa janne
because ni ko chesbe dawda nan kan na findin kala place like bakaw ngamol kolje ko coronavirus bala sare don tatitaje e ka fanyo ka be jumal laje family jumal ka ba menna abe menna iko yemen samba bakaw yemen samba kada koronta ndego lo ne personally so asuma pesen dole mo meta wala la so anu ni sasa be is all about wasifa la mo so itata o samba itata o fenka so ofana o man convince no ka be kerin ya aman tara kerin to la jang no
abarak
okay let me add more yalla même problème o e ñing tuba bo le ya da e la fla dunia contrôler la fla dunia be kala e bulo kono so yo de daro le keten so fo se ku bonde dunia kono me alon ka be mo be kip la le install c'est le col keno c'est le col install no so sa me alon ko fon le ya de da e ba drop kan dulalto is happening abe kerin ne bar bi ngamanke ala sa de to le ka drop da to le ka samba dulal Bill Gates is a businessman amanke doctor amanke health personnel so muna na aka foko nyimbe kala no nyinyena kala who is he for amune ba bala African do fana nyana wise la yenna leader sol muda ye ko jaba ba don dila e ka ko dol dila pour dan contrôle ke la citizen mo ke équipe dan contrôle be la ko kala nyame so mfana nyana to yalla kal invent kal fennu bondi ngan nga ku jama boni nyota nyana karana le dala African no lino because mo kana na kamuda ka ku impose kan e kamude kata ndol fele be nyo bute kan jang kuno inata ye mo pick jang na security personnel so inata ye mo pick jang me alonko abala foko jara wafi kan akilling adamale be siring amanke social ka foko social distance yalo manke momenta ma be siring ani jumale be nyoka ni momenta nyoka na feriol kono be je me alonko mol be fari njetap bo sol kono dulalto in fact hani man sa fonga dulalto fondo mol katara nyoko no jel so juma social distance selan jumale nyana jam fala nyola ngaram man salle fonga nyana jam fala nyola isna mol jam fala nyola badulal be ko jesri ka mol social distance e kata mol mutam yango sembotela e kata e kemte ke samba e ke pak wol bi kala dogo keno so nyanna to coronavirus sasale me alon ko mol le ya deda e kamute ka samba dunia dulalto pour dan contrôle to lefta menna e sa keno nyame coronavirus be mol ala ma deda ala lo kurante ndesolo fonoje
wa lol non dama bëgg comme government bi gëna xolaati mbir bi dal because xam nga suñ dun toog rek ñu ngi wax lii am na ba pare ñun leeruñu ba pare ñun gisuñ si dara xam nga dafa leer tamit xam nga su ne coronavirus am na ñu wax ne ñuy naka leen ñëwee at fa leen nekk at fu ñu téyee gaay because tamit déggoon neen tamit marquage bi gaay ñu ne am na coronavirus fii nii bundung ba pare marquage bi ñu téye yëpp yóbbu neen gaay 14 days gisuñ kenn bu amee ko xam nga boobu tamit ñu tam seen xel bi mënu koo nangu tamit ba pare soo déggee naa soo amee coronavirus danga ko leen mën a waala any minute ba pare marquage bi ñum téye yëpp amul ko ba pare dégguloo bundu kenn am na fa coronavirus kon ñu seen xel bi du mën a nangu loolu because ñun Gambien tamit nekkul di nelaw ñu xam ne lu nekk du dox si dëkk bi right now.
While others doubt about the existence of COVID-19 in the Gambia, some Gambians do not believe at all that the virus do exist in the Gambia. However, looking at Gambians' take on COVID-19, one will conclude that a lot of serious sensitization is needed. Fatou Camara reporting for the
I am Ronald Senghor.
I am Fanta Cisse.
I am Jenna Ovari.
Welcome to the AfriSol Ramadan Show. Stand a chance of winning millions of dollars.
All you have to do is call or SMS 1010.
For $3 only.
Excitement.
Numbers.
Big surprises.
Watch us live on GRTS on every Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 9 p.m.
And listen to us on Afri Radio and all other major radio stations.
Stay home and stay safe.
Share the Ramadan with us and participate.
Because with AfriCell, you're always a winner.
Welcome back, and now we will close this review with an exclusive interview with the Director of Health Promotion and Education, Mr. Mamadou Njai, who dispelled rumors about a possible COVID-19 vaccine being tested in the Gambia, misinformation and other wild allegations surrounding the pandemic. Let's take a look. The issue of misinformation is not only a challenge to the Gambia, but the world at large. COVID-19 has no doubt been accompanied by an even more dangerous outbreak of misinformation, false claims. Some people think that this is a distraction, and people going as far as saying this is an elite power play, but at the expense of the people. Of course, Gambia is no exception, as people already begin to flaunt some conspiracy theories regarding this virus. And today I sit down with the Director of Health Promotion and Education, Mr. Mamadou Njie, to take a look at some of these theories that are being flaunted by Gambians, either online or when just talking to them. Welcome to the Fatu Network, Mr. Njie.
Oh, thank you very much, Sergio Brito, for coming here and for talking to me with regards to COVID-19 and the situations around COVID-19. Thank you.
Mr. Njie, it seems that there is so much conspiracy theories, and this is not just only limited in the case of the Gambia, but the entire world at large. First of all, how is this impacting the work of the officials in the fight against COVID-19?
First, I will want to say that we have challenges when it comes to false or fake news that is going around with regards to COVID-19. And we also have challenges from people making audios and making videos, trying to send it to people to tell them that the COVID-19 disease doesn't exist, and they don't believe in it. There is still a lot of denial in certain communities, and that is still hampering our interventions. We made it at the beginning very, very clear that COVID-19 is called novel coronavirus. And Sergio, when we talk about novel, it's meaning it is new. A new disease that you have to walk around 24 hours round the clock, 7 days a week, to ensure that you know more about the disease. It used to be from animals to humans, and now human-to-human transmission also occurred. And scientists are following the trend of this disease. And now that they've also established that, they still want to look at the disease more in depth to know how can we treat it, and also how can also we be able to prevent it. What medicines can also be available in terms of managing the disease. Along that way, the procedures may be slow. And this procedure to establish the real cause of a disease, a real fact about the disease, might take a longer period for scientists to be able to establish that. Along the way, people will make all sorts of stories. People will come and say it doesn't exist, it's done for a purpose. Some will say I can be able to, they can cure it. We have several calls here.
Yes, and let's talk about the Gambian context, because some Gambians actually do believe that the virus does not exist.
Exactly.
Others going as far as claiming that government is creating fake cases just to make sure that they have access to funds or to embezzle funds. How do you respond to that?
I want to say that those claims are false. There is no government that will create disease or that will make information with regards to disease to say I have a disease. Because remember, in the public health emergencies, or especially a pandemic, reporting a single case is an alarm for a country. When you look at the economic impact of COVID-19, if a country is supposed to report a case, when the case exists, you have to report. And when you report, remember certain cases, disease you report, it also makes people not to go to your country. It also makes development, also retard development.
So the question is,
and that is why
anyone risk it?
Thank you. Why would anyone risk now to say that my country have disease of COVID-19, and now you are trying to tell people not to be like, right now, even the stigma will be on Gambians when we go out. Look at that implication. If the government is supposed to do that, the government will never do that. Like if you travel now anywhere in this world now, and then you go to a country that have never registered a single case of COVID-19, and you tell them that you are from Gambia, they say, oh yes, you are the country that registered this number of cases. That alone is something that no one will risk it. We will want to tell those people who are making those claims, if they have other agenda against the Minister of Health, against the government of the Gambia, there are ways to channel their agenda, but not to channel it through claims that the disease doesn't exist and the government is using that to get funding. No government will do that. We want to make it categorically very clear that the cases we have reported are the exact cases we have reported, And we will continue to report on cases as and when they are available with our laboratory tests that we are doing. So I want to make it clear to those people. They believe that there is tuberculosis. They believe that there is malaria. They believe that there is meningitis. They believe that, and all those diseases you can only know through laboratory confirmation. Now, this disease also have been confirmed through laboratory investigation. And today you are saying that you don't believe in that disease. Where are we heading to as a country? Where are we heading to? That's a question I want to ask. If people are now sending all the energy and time, the minister have been having sleepless nights, have been working 24 hours around the clock from January to now. He has been restless with his entire team. All because of the fact that we don't want the disease to enter. Remember that when we had the first case, it was on the 17th of March. It was really a sad day at the Ministry of Health. Very sad indeed, because of the efforts we have put into the fight against COVID-19 and trying to defeat, to ensure that it doesn't enter into the source of the Gambia. It has entered. It was shocking. Nobody expected it. Nobody was, because with all the strategies we put in place, the minister was able to identify the need for us to have and to look at our National Health Emergency Committee, which was established and launched, and is the chairperson of that committee. We also have subcommittees. All of those subcommittees are working 24 hours around the clock to be able to support the operations and functions of the National Health Emergency Committee. And currently also we have a ministerial committee. And these ministers are all busy now, working closely and trying to exchange ideas, and they're also answerable to the Vice President, High Excellency the Vice President. High Excellency the Vice President also report to His Excellency the President. So look at the time and energy and the commitment from the government. Invested into this alone. Let me tell you, most of the offices are closed. We have not been closed for the past, since January. We have been working from Monday to Sunday, Monday to Monday. Why? Because we want to make sure that we put in appropriate strategies. The minister is not sleeping. The Vice President is not sleeping. The President is not sleeping. All other ministers are working together. And then they are leaving their other work that they have been doing before, that they are assigned to do, and they are all focusing on COVID-19. Look at that loss in time. Look at that loss in resources and energy. How can a government say that we will want to fabricate a case to say we have a case and in the name of funds? The government will never do that. That is not the case if people have their other agendas. I think, in my opinion, there are ways to channel their agenda, but let them not cause any distraction in our interventions we are currently doing. We are moving on with our agenda. The minister and his team are working in collaboration with other stakeholders to make sure that we move on. And because of all these messages that are going around, Sajo, that is why we are having resistance. I'll give you one typical example that we had a case in a community, in a particular community. We thought of having mass screening around that particular community. We had resistance. They said no. But we are very grateful to the community of Bakau. When we had a similar case in Bakau, we went and we proposed to have mass screening. The community and the alkali accepted. They came out in their large numbers. The first day we were able to screen 366. The second day was 231, making a total of 597 people were screened. And out of that, as of yesterday, we got about 109 of those tests, which are all negative. And the tests are all coming, in a gradual. And then those people who are making claim that the disease doesn't exist, and they are the people who, when they go to the health facilities or hospital, they want to be seen by a laboratory personnel to be able to screen them for any other particular disease.
Let's talk about the resistance for a second, because they're also claiming that, so why did they go to Bakau alone? How about the others who tested positive? They also belong to communities, exactly. And the ministry should have gone there to conduct some mass testing. What is the response to that?
We want to respond, and the response is very, very clear and simple. It's simply, I started it before. I said, we had two communities that we had resistance. One in the Common North and one in the around London Corner area. We had two cases being reported in these two areas. We initially wanted to do mass screening, and the community said no, they are not interested. We even have received threats from certain communities. And we said, hence people say it's democracy. People want to have their liberty, and we don't want to force them. That is why we said, okay, hence these communities resist. Now let's try another community. That was a third community we tried. That was Bakau, was a third community we tried. We tried the first community We didn't work. We went to the second community, which happens to be Commonwealth area. The third community was Bakau. And the whole idea, we said, let's focus on Bakau. We used the same approach. In the Commonwealth area, we used a National Assembly member who tried very well with other key people, but they couldn't convince them. The same strategy we used, we went to Bakau, we were able to talk to the Alikali. The Alikali, you know what he did? He said to us, I am willing to be part of this support, and I'm part of this intervention, and I'm prepared to look for a vehicle for you to do your sensitization. And we told him, no, we have a vehicle, and we have a specialized vehicle, 1025, being given to us, and then that's what we are using, and we've already mounted loud hailers on it, and that's what we're going to use. And then he also went further to mobilize the councillors and the youth groups in collaboration with National Youth Council. They did a massive house-to-house sensitization, and they were able to reach to almost about 841 households were reached. That was a massive, achievement. And then what we did was, the next day, we thought people would not come out. That was on Sunday. They started sensitization on Friday and Saturday. But we thought people would not come. But on Sunday, all the places, like the school, the youth center, were all full. But what we also did, we also expected that people will come. We said we have to make sure that we observe the physical distancing. And then we ensure that the security personnel were there to ensure that people stand, in a very organized way, and people have to put on masks, and all the people were really on mask. That was good. And then the first day we get about 366. That was a big surprise. And then the next day was 231. And now what happened is, that screening that we have done, because in psychology, in community, certain people just want to be seen as trying. They want certain people to try for certain intervention for them. And when they fail, they say, yes, I said it. You see why I don't want to do it. But they also want to see that try it. When they succeed, they say, yes, oh, you succeed. Okay, now I'll do it. Now we have also created demand. Now communities, those that even resisted, we are getting...
Still now asking for...
Some of them they're asking for us to go. Why can't we go there and test? So you can see, our going to Bakau, that was a rationale. It was not meant for anything else. But because we felt that we tried, London corner area, we tried Busumbal, it didn't work. And then now we said, let's try on this one. So when it didn't work now, in all those areas, because we want to respect people's opinion. It's democracy, we want to give them their rights, we want them to say no. When they say no, we don't want to force them. But in certain instances, when it comes to we have been registered in so many cases in that particular community, we would have applied the public health laws, and we are going to go in force. And we didn't want to do that. But Bakau have just set the pace for us.
Still on false claims, fake news, misinformation, the conspiracy theories. Do you think there should be a crackdown on these kind of things? Because even Tanzania's Magufuli has said that his government will crack down on any sort of misinformation coming from people.
Sergio, there was a press release sent by the National Disaster Management Agency in line with the information dissemination of information that can cause panic and fear among the general public, especially during public health emergencies. People knew about it. What we're going to do, we're going to repeat that particular press release. We're going to read it in local languages. We're going to read it for people to know about it more. And then we will now advise government to be able to take actions against people who are really spreading false rumors. People commit certain conspiracy theories. People also sending fake news in a bid to create confusion, panic among the general public. A typical example, Sergio, is the issue of vaccine trial, COVID-19 vaccine trial. Somebody also prepared an audio and also sent a message on social media saying that the Gambia government, through the Minister of Health, is also conducting COVID vaccine trial in the area of Brikama area. This is also false. We want to make it is a false statement.
This is actually creating some sort of chaos because people are sick and then they're refusing to go to the hospitals as a result of this.
Not only being sick, Sergio, we have women where we have services we are providing for pregnant and lactating women, and as well as children under 5 years. And these are either immunization services or other services, antenatal services or postnatal. Maybe I would say mainly antenatal service at the clinic. So when these messages have been taken, when people they hear these messages, on social media, they will also put on audio on it, and they start sending the audio to people. So it has caused a lot of panic, a lot of fear, and people have not been using our facilities. And as a result of that, many of the children defaulted in their immunization schedules. And that is something that is really cause for concern to us. We have prepared a press release and we are working on that to inform the people. But prior to that, we have now used the platform and various platforms, including Fortune Network platform, to inform about those mothers who have been coming to clinic, the pregnant and lactating mothers, that the services that we have been providing previous years is the same services we are providing and we will continue to provide for them. And anytime we are doing a trial, we will also come back and tell them that we are doing trial ABA. Like, let me give you a typical example of the pneumococcal vaccine trial in Basse. When we are doing the pneumococcal vaccine trial, the government, Minister of Health and the MRC Gambia, based in Basse, in the 1995 to around 2000 area, about 4 years trial, we were able to inform the public as to what we are about to do. So there is no way that the Ministry of Health will work with any other individual or institution to conduct a trial on vaccine without informing the public. And no other, method of COVID-19 vaccine trial is happening in this country. And the government, furthermore, and I repeat, the government of the Gambia, through the Minister of Health, have not made any agreement, be it formal or informal, with any individual or institution to carry out COVID-19 vaccine trial in this country. So in the Gambia, all these claims are false. We want to appeal to the mothers to continue to use our services, and all the information that they have been seeing on social media, let them disregard it and get back to the Minister of Health, contact the Minister of Health, or use our 1025 for more information on whatever is happening in their locality. That's the message we want to really pass.
And so far, Gambia has registered one COVID-19 death in the Gambia.
Yep.
Now, I want us to clarify certain things because there is so much talk. People think that the Bangladeshi guy was actually being used as a scapegoat to tell people that there is actually coronavirus in the Gambia. There is rumors that, he actually died of pneumonia and not coronavirus. When he was sick, they put a mask on him and he couldn't breathe because he had lung issues, and that was what led to his death. Tell me, how was his case detected and the events leading to his death? Because this is important to clarify.
Actually, what happened is, I think when people are talking, I would always advise them to think of their grave. If you are saying something that you are not sure of, be very factual and say what is right. What you don't know about, just simply say, I don't know. But that doesn't mean that you don't know what you are doing or what you are saying. The Bangladeshi case, we know he came to the Gambia for the purpose of preaching. And then during that process, he got sick. He went to our facility and he was referred. Along the way, he passed. He passed away before reaching to the hospital. And then, what we need to do in a public health emergency or pandemic, any death must be investigated, or samples can be taken to determine as certain as to whether the disease we are talking about is actually what has killed that particular individual. And that was why the sample was taken, and the results were available on the 19th of March. All what they have been saying about that particular individual, the person has other medical conditions. Prior to coming to the Gambia, with the information we got about individual, is that he has other medical conditions. And for us to be very sure of his condition, despite the fact that he died, we still need to go further to find out exactly what is the cause of death. And we could have just said he died, but we said no, we are dealing with professionals in that particular area who are renowned medical doctors who, they felt that there is a need for us to take sample, and the sample was taken. But what I want to say, all what they are saying about that Bangladeshi individual is they are trying to cause confusion or trying to cause panic or trying to cause conflict between the Minister of Health and the people who invited, or the organization that invited the Bangladeshi people for the purpose of preaching. I want to advise that we should not trigger issues that will result to conflict. We've already addressed this issue, and the man traveled from so many places with certain people. But you can travel with certain people. You may do certain activities, they will not be able to do that. You may visit somebody, or you may give funds to somebody else. They have not done that. And then most of those people who were with him, they were not showing any signs and symptoms that is related to COVID-19, according to WHO guidelines. So one cannot just say that those people who he traveled with, hence he has a disease, they also should have a disease. No, that could not be a good conclusion. The people who he came with, including other people they got contact with, we were able to respond quickly by taking them to quarantine.
They were all tested?
They were screened, not actually being tested, but the prime suspect, the close contacts were tested for COVID-19. They were negative, yeah? But other people they had contact with, in the process they were screened, taking their temperatures to see how they are. Then we reintroduced the issue of mandatory testing before you leave the quarantine center. We had to leave them to go because they didn't show any signs and symptoms similar to COVID-19 according to WHO guidelines. So we had to release them. But even those who have been having close contact with those who travel with him, actually they have been closely monitored. And that was what we did. And up till now, we have not received any report to say that they are suffering from A, B, and C. We didn't get any information on that. So that information that is going out is really trying to trigger conflict. Because we have already settled the issue of the organization that invited the Bangladeshi team to come and do preaching for the purpose of religious issues. And I think this is something that we have discussed. And then the person also was given dignified burial with the support of the Gambia Red Cross Society, and then with other elders, and also including some of the organization. They help us to offer the man dignified burial. So the state was very concerned, and the ministry was also concerned, and that all the rights were given to the individual during the burial process. So I think all what they are saying, the person came with certain complications, but also in COVID-19, as I said, it's a new disease. Some can be infected with the virus and they will not show any signs and symptoms, asymptomatic at all. They will not show anything, but they can be interactive with you. And those are the ones that could even affect us more, because why? Those people are healthy, they don't cough, they don't sneeze, they don't do anything.
Meanwhile,
and then they are transmitting it, and that is our fear now. Because people are now, they don't care about the disease. They don't care about implementing the state of public emergency regulation. They don't care about respecting the physical distancing. Is really affecting us now. And I think if you look at Sayo, our local transmission rate numbers now are 7. 7 local transmission.
Which is quite worrying. So right now we stand at a total of 16 cases.
16 cases, 17, one died. And then 16, and then 9 of them were discharged, and then now we have 7 active cases that are currently at
now we have 7 active cases.
That are
so far, Mr. Njai, we know that the borders are not 100% closed.
Yeah.
And as far as COVID-19 is concerned, I think it is business as usual for some people in the Gambia, because they are refusing to adhere to the guidelines that are put in place by government or the World Health Organization. Do you think there could be a tightening of those measures as part of efforts in containing this virus?
Yes, you are right. People are resisting. People don't want to respect the laws set up by the government. But anyone who lives in this land, the Gambia, must be able to respect the laws set up by the government. We are saying that borders must be controlled. Control in the sense that people should be able to monitor the movement of people in and out of the country. When people come in, we advise them to contact our 1025. Many people are doing it. Remember, there was a time 4 or 5 days ago, there were 10 people who were taken to quarantine. So we were able to get those 10 people through the 1025 call. So some citizens are very concerned. Some Gambians are very concerned. But some they just want to create some sort of sabotage to the system. Because we are working very hard, but others want to see that all the efforts go in vain. And now some will sit at the border, will be transporting people inside to the Gambia from Senegal. Remember at some point you heard that some motorcycles were seized by the authorities in some of the borders, because those people were using the motorcycles to collect people from Senegal and put them in and bring them into the Gambia. That is something that is in the first place that is wrong. If there are laws that we are closing our borders, people should not go to bring people illegally. What we also put in place currently is that the securities are now conducting patrols, border patrols, along the lines of the country. We've also completed engagement with the borderline communities, village development committees of those border communities, and as well as some alcalis and then other, of influential leaders in certain communities, being supported by the International Organization for Migration, and these committee members are engaged. And the purpose of that engagement is to strengthen community-based surveillance, and as well as also encouraging communities to come up with, to set up what they call community vigilantes. This is very, very good. And then a typical example has been done in Sabi. I don't know if you know in Sabi, Upper River region, maybe one day you can find yourself in Upper River region in Sabi to go and see there and learn from the best practices they are doing. Sabi, if you know, Sabi has about 8 exit points to Senegal. And in the 8 exit point, what they do while they are able to establish, one person or two youths with a motorcycle, and then they'll be there to monitor anybody who comes in. They make sure they alert the police, and the police will just come and get you. And then this is something that we want. And then these motorcycles, the fuel is being supported by the village development committee of the community. So I think we will have to thank the community. And then this strategy has been now adopted by many communities around Upper River, and even some of the North Bank and then Lower River region. So we are very grateful, and Central River region, we are very grateful to certain communities that came up with their own initiative to establish structures that will also be able to help them to do community-based surveillance, and as well as also strengthening the borders along the. It's a big challenge for us, but we still continue to create dialogue with the communities, and also to encourage them to ensure that they continue the monitoring. And that will really help us a lot, and also to give us information on our 1025.
Cases seem to be increasing as of the last announcement from the Ministry of Health. And the state of emergency is about to be over. What are we looking at right now?
It is about to be over, yes, but it's also open to extension. It's also open, but that also have to be determined by the government. As I told you previously, we have a National Health Emergency Committee. We also have several subcommittees. We also have a committee comprised of technical experts. All these committees now will have to sit together now and brainstorm as to what next. What will be the next steps? And then the advice will be given now to the ministry, to the minister, who will also take the recommendations and suggestions of the technical committee to the high-level ministerial committee on COVID-19, which is chaired by the Vice President, High Sensitive Vice President. And then from there, they will also table it at cabinet level and come up with a cabinet decision. But I'm sure, in my opinion, the way we are going, and it seems most people are not giving due respect to the state of public emergency regulation, because it might, in my opinion, it might be extended. It might not be, because if that's the case, then people must have to change their behaviors. Like, for example, also changing the attitude towards the disease. Meaning, for example, like the number of people who are going to the market. And at some point, we also, in our statement, we made it very clear that we are sending messages to people who are selling clothes. Now, that's a season now. And we also send message to tailors, and as well as people who are dealing with general merchandise, for example. So that when people are coming to buy, and the people doing the one tier, because now we are heading to that by next week.
Most likely there won't be no one tier.
And then we are not encouraging people to go in for one tier, because that is going to call for more people. And then we sent a message to them that they have to observe the state of public emergency regulation to the latter in all its forms. So therefore, I think we've sent a message, and also those people who are also selling in the shops should ensure that people go in one by one. That's what we have been advising to, and the tailors also should be mindful. So, but it's still a challenge. But it is the people now who should take health and own health and be responsible for their own health. So when we do that, that's going to help us a lot. we have to be responsible for our own health. We have to take action. We also have to make sure we safeguard our health. If we don't do that, we are causing so much havoc to ourselves when it comes to health. And that my advice is the state of public emergency regulation must be respected in its all form, and then it also needs to be respected. And then the issue of physical distancing must be respected. It must be, not like can be or could be, but it must be respected. And it really needs to be adhered to. That's the only way we can also be able to prevent COVID-19.
That's right. Social distancing must be adhered to. Yeah. And finally, before I let you go, there seems to be no clinically tested vaccine available for the coronavirus. But there seems to be something working out in Madagascar. And the World Health Organization is already saying that Africans deserve vaccines that are medically or clinically tested, as said in the medical field. And I see some other African countries already jumping into the wagon. Is the Gambia government considering that?
I would not preempt. I'm sure we will discuss this at a technical level. But I'm sure anything that has not been approved by WHO, it will be difficult for the country to adapt. Remember, we are signatory to the World Health Organization, its principles, and also, as you know, WHO is the UN Technical Specialized Agency for Health. So they are responsible for developing guidelines and tools and protocols for countries, and they give technical guidance to countries as to what they should do. So therefore, if WHO confirms that the medicine is good, and even the vaccine trials that are going on, it must be certified by WHO.
Yeah, but we all know that will go back to big pharmaceuticals, and then it will come back to it being sold to Africans. But that's another topic.
That is another topic which we can talk about. But I think as of now, if WHO advise countries, there's no way Gambia will go in for it. But as long as it is not been advised by WHO, and now, as I said, the COVID-19 is something that is new. There are a lot of work around it, and then there are no conclusions yet as to what type of disease or what type of medicine can treat it, or what type of vaccine can prevent it. So that is what we are at this point in time. But I think with time, something will come up, because so many diseases have just come, the influenza, flu, the H1N1, a lot of things came up, but at least there were solutions to that. But for this other one, you know, it has been something that has been really giving scientists a lot of work, and then restless for that matter. They've not been resting, and they're still working around it just to see what is the best possible vaccine, and also the best possible medicine for the disease. So, but that lot of work is going on, and I'm sure I'll be happy to give you an update as we move on, as we get information with regards to either the vaccine that they are talking about at that level, and also we talk about the medicine that countries are now thinking of having. So, for Gambia, we've
ma feel daal comme like booy ñu dee film moom man dëgg film la like da ngay gis nga xam ne dañ dee feel like li tax ma ñëw comme ñëw naa defuma dara maa ngi toog so bi ma def ma ñëw dëgg ne film ma dara suma gars yi ma welcome nice ni ma war a welcome par exemple maa ngi business maa ngi am restaurant su loolu laa nekk balaa maa start li comme fish fry kese laa doon jaay so suma business bi 2005 laa ko starté. So xam nga si laa koto ba tey yàlla def ma am nii so waaw because fii lu mu ndaw Gambia fi ku liggéey da nga am fu noo dem soo demee yow da ngaa liggéey soo liggéey doo liggéey even like dem kati bawgee ñuy dem yëpp foog nga liggéey soo eggee lii bi am loo ko laa yónnee da nga am liggéey fi gars yi la fekk liggéey boo xalaat di nga ko fa def léegi du tax yow sa dëkk doo mën a def loolu dégg dama jël sample bi si man bi ma jógee Libya ma ñëw dama xool ne toog naa 7 mois defuma dara man su ma boobu ma toog ma xalaat man maa ngi Libya liggéey bu nekk def naa ko dimbali def naa ko raxas boo def naa lu nekk su ma dégg lu tax maa wane ne dama xool liggéey maa def soo si laa dugg si lii nag ba tax ma dugg si lii tur bu nekk ma def booy fish pipe booy faale ma su ma nee man naay booy fish pipe sant la soo leen génn ñu liggéey ñu bàyyi toog bi ñu bàyyi à dépend soo xam nga ku liggéey fi di nga am dara te am nga plan bi nga xam ne ñu ngi si quoi xam nga like ñu dugg si nawet ñu bëgg a béy xam nga soo tabaski baa ngay ñëw tamit ñu bëgg a jaay xar xam nga